Hey, kingdom-minded entrepreneurs, Michelle here, and today we're having another awesome momentum conversation with a special guest of mine. She's my friend. I've been knowing her for double digits. I'm not,
Yes, yes,
I'm not,
yes, double digits.
y'all know I'm not good with the dates, but a long, long time. And when we started, we were in the system, as I like to call it, the matrix, right? So we work at a 9 to 5 or 7:30 to 3, however you want to see that. And I believe God brought us together to begin to support one another, partner with one another, do all the things in that system. And then I came out and I started my own business. And then my special guest, who I'm going to give you her name in a moment, I'm not sure if she sees herself as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur, but we're going to ask her these questions. So my very special guest today is Desiree Montalvo-Holt.
Hello, hello.
So Desiree is an author. Oh wait, a two-time author, right? And she also has. I'm going to call it. You know what? I'm not going to call it anything. I'm going to let her tell me. So Desiree, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you came to be where you are right now.
Okay, so like you said, my name is Desiree. We've known each other for I think over 15 years, if I'm correct, maybe 13.
We'll put it in the in the
But
description. Yeah.
yes, I am a mother to four adult children. Buy two, get two free is what my husband likes to say. I'm also a grandma to two beautiful grandsons. I live in Florida, about 15 minutes from Miss Micheline Holiday, and I'm an educator by profession, and I'm also an author, as she stated. I'm not sure that was by choice. That was very much pushed by the lovely friend Michelina and the Lord and the favor of God and the plan that God had for me. But my authorship, if that's how you say, I'm not sure, it came about through illness, a period of time of illness where I learned to fall to God and really just trust Him in that particular journey. And from that came my book, In the Storm.
In the storm, yeah. So let me
Mhm.
ask you, because I was going to label it a business tree kind of thing. But do you see yourself as a entrepreneur or a business owner?
There are days I do and days I do. No. So because of my health, right? There are days I'm all for it. Michelina knows me well, and days where I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna say yes because it's business for God,
Mm.
right? It is what I don't see as business as the world sees business.
Mhm.
But if I were to say, God provided me with this, gifted this to me, I have to say I can say it's a business or a journey with God through business, but
Okay.
His way, but His way,
Okay.
right?
I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad to hear that because I remember, like you would say, I don't have a business. I don't have
Our
a
business.
long time. I'm like, you do because you're selling
Yes,
a product, right? And
yes,
so, that's how I see it. So today
yes.
we're talking about how to experience or how to, how God pushes our business forward through favor. And
Mm,
I know, I think most of your story,
mhm.
but talk to me a little bit about how the favor of God has played a part in your life and in your business.
Oh my goodness. From the very beginning, like you stated, when we met, I think God had a plan. When I picked up that first journal and I wrote when my son was 1 years old and I was diagnosed with Hodgkins, God had a plan. And I know that you and I had talked about this, and it's like, oh my goodness, like the favor of God's been there from beginning till now in terms of me writing. So my book In the Storm is a journal. It's a 30-day journal, and it is about my story and also just finding joy in being in God's presence, praying and seeking and journaling with God. So I started journaling over 20 years ago, and I didn't know that during those 3 years that I was going to be in and out of hospitals in the company of Michelina, who I shared my, and when I say in the company of me, conversations with her, where I shared all these journal writings, and God just kind of upped that during that health time. He upped the journal writing, that all this time it was God's favor, and God was planning this book, and you were part of that, literally part of that whole puzzle, because I don't know that without your expertise, like your knowledge and your push, and yeah, just kind of pushed me over the edge. That all of that wouldn't have come into play. Even the person who drew the image for my book was a girl at work. I said one statement, she drew it, it happened.
Now you mean your when you say your image, is that like your logo or like the
My logo.
Okay.
My logo and the cover of my book. And the cover of my book. So yeah, his favor definitely all throughout. And even today, and Desiree in the flesh would love to stop sharing. Is that bad? keep it all to myself. But on a daily basis, God shows me through all these women who somehow find me, connect with me. It'll be maybe through a friend or through the internet, on how they have found joy through reading these prayers that God has given me from 25, 26 years ago. So absolute favor. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think one of the things I talk about a lot is that when you're kingdom minded, and you're about God and you're aligned with God, he wants you to succeed, and he wants to push your business forward. He wants to do that. And so sometimes he'll give you favor with people and favor in situations. And so like when you were telling me about how this person just did the logo for you, I don't even know if you asked her actually.
I think if I recall correctly, I just said, oh, I have this journal I want to do, and I spoke a little bit about my mom and the symbol of the dragonfly, and she just put it together and then put it on my desk.
And so yeah, and God will do things like that where he'll set it up to where it's like you didn't even know, or I guess sharing a need. And then he just put it on this person's heart to say, you know what, I got skills, I can do it. And then you ended up using it for your book, so that's awesome.
Even through the publishing,
Okay.
the first time the book was published, it just kind of happened. And then the second time around where we edited the book, it was just like God was just putting everything on the table, and it was up to me to pick those pieces up, but understand that it was coming from him, and the story I was going to share and the story I am sharing, it has nothing even to do with my own personal health, but what he wants people to see. Right?
Yeah.
In the seeking.
There's something that you do called joyous conversations, right?
Yes.
And I guess all of them have been up to this date, or most of them have been live, right? So
Correct.
God showed you favor when you've had these well, first of all, tell us what that is, and then how's God showed you favor with that?
Well, I call my time with God a joyous conversation. So I decided to call time together with other women a joyous conversation as well. So it's basically women coming together to pray, seek, and journal. And through that time, God has also given me something else, an acronym that I pray through. So women coming together to pray, seek, and journal, and not only listen to my story, but to share their stories and how they can find joy in their story, and how their testimony can bring more joy to other people. And so that has been the times that I've had the joyous conversations in Atlanta. Actually, I just did a panel, and And it's basically like, Desiree, somebody told me about you, or I saw you here, or my friend, and it's nothing but God, because as Michelina knows, that is not the space that I particularly enjoy. Even though I am a talker, to be in large crowds, or that is uncomfortable to me, but God is working on me. How about that? So that's even a favor.
Yeah, he's working on you.
Yeah,
I
that's
I know there's been like a number of times where I've been struggling in business, or like even struggling to figure out, who am I? What am I about? Am I supposed to even be doing this? And then his
Mhm.
favor shows up, and then like a door is open, that I really
Yeah.
didn't ask for per se. And I'm like, okay. Or a situation presents itself and I'm like, and you don't even know how they got your name or how they found out. It's just, it happens. And that's why I call it like the favor, like the momentum of God through favor. I heard
Absolutely.
about you through this, I heard about this through this, and then the favor that happens with that. And
Absolutely. Yeah. And as you know, every year, the goal, right, the business goal, we call it, is to create joy bags for women that are going through a health storm. And every year, God has provided. There is a joyous conversation that occurs somewhere, and bags are able to be sent to or given to cancer centers.
mhm.
And that is really my heart. My heart in selling my books is to create these joy bags where people get a journal, a book, a handwritten card, a gift card if the money allows us. It's during the holidays, so we try to make it fun. And you can see that on my Instagram page.
Yeah.
All the time we've been able to do that. That's been my joy filler.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
what have you learned about God's favor throughout this, whether it's like your health or the business or any part of your life? What have you learned?
I've learned to get rid of Desiree in terms of my head, and draw closer to him
Mm,
and listen to him. Because when I'm in my head, it's not seamless, and it's almost not doable. When I'm in my head, it becomes
mhm,
confusion.
mm,
But when I am in prayer with him, and then it feels peaceful. It feels peaceful, and it's not as hard as Desiree makes it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I
I
learned
know,
to trust,
yeah.
just trust him.
I think that has been a big story for me. A lesson for me is so because sometimes when his favorite shows up, like you said, I feel like I don't know if I'm ready for this, or I'm not even sure I want to do this. But then I
Yeah,
also know it what it could do on the other end, like the fruit of it, what it could be. And so,
absolutely.
and then also I've noticed, I've learned that, favor doesn't always feel comfortable. Um, so, but
Mhm.
then learning how to respond to it with a yes.
Yeah. And I
That,
feel like when you follow that favor and trust, that's
mhm,
when you grow.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's when
sometimes,
you,
yeah, responding to favor is about trusting. Like,
yeah.
I know this is you, so I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you do it. I'm gonna
Desiree and her can't do it, but I know you
Mhm.
can.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you were to share with someone about like doing, and I laugh a little bit to myself because like I said, I know you're like, I don't know about this business part, but like, well, let me ask you this. When did you realize, okay, this is a business that I'm doing?
Oh, when you told me it was on, no, I'm just kidding. When, you know
No, that's
what?
not
When,
true because you
no, I know, I know,
categorically.
I know. I'm messing with you. When I realized that how important, and not the sale in terms of the financial part is,
Okay,
but what the sales of my books, how that was blessing people
okay.
in terms of not only the book itself and what was in it, and people contacting me online and just telling me, oh my gosh, this helped me today when I was in chemo. This helped me today when the doctor said this. But being able to bring those bags, right? It was like, oh my gosh, if I don't sell, then I can't do more of this. So
Right,
it is a business, but for God,
right,
right? Because when I thought about business, because I have a job and I feel I'm very blessed, is like I in the world is money,
mm,
right? But when I start to think about it as business for God, it's about blessing others.
mm. Yeah, I
You
got you.
kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I think that that's only happened in the last year and a half or so where I've seen it that way.
yeah,
Because when I thought business, I was like, no, I'm not trying to, you know, make money, but yeah, I am trying to make money to help people.
yeah,
So that's okay. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah,
and so God is like, let me bless you so you can
yeah,
bless others, and a lot of times I don't know, for me, it just felt like, I don't want people to think I'm sharing my story just for money. That
right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me just say to all the authors out there, there's nothing wrong
With making money for the
making money
Lord.
and selling your books for money,
Yeah.
Actually, I saw this interesting article and it said, like, which author are you? Are you like an author or an author entrepreneur? And so I said, wait a minute, what is that? So I had to kind of look that up. And then when I had the understanding of it, I would say, because the author is someone who writes books and wants to, share a message from their books.
Mhm.
And that's their not that they don't want to sell books, but that's their main guiding force behind it. Like that's their main reason. Where an author entrepreneur is someone who, like, I want to build a business and I'm gonna use the book as a way to push my business forward, or as a way, as like a marketing tool for my
Yeah.
business. And so I feel like
Yeah.
you fall under the author part, but there's still this business part to it, that
Absolutely.
comes with it. And I think when you started, well, I think you're just like, I don't know, what was your thought? I don't want to put words in your mouth. What was your thought when you started?
When I started,
Like
I
once you
just
had,
thought
when
I
I say
was sharing
started,
my
once you had the book like in your hand, and I'm like, okay, I got the books, it's been published.
I just really honestly, I just felt like I just needed to share my story.
Okay.
I didn't see it as almost like a tool
Mm-hmm.
to not only share my story, but to get where um God needed me to get, right? To get out of
Right.
my comfort zone,
Right.
right? So yeah. Yeah. At the beginning, I just saw it as me sharing my story.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't even put like sales to it. Like, I didn't. I was just like, what? What?
Even when you had to come up with a price, you were like,
I was like, well, I don't know. I have no
yeah,
idea. I'll give it away.
yeah,
Let's just give it away.
yeah.
So yeah. And
Mm,
which is fine. There are times where I do that, right? Because that's what God is asking me to do. But
mm,
again, God's favor is somehow, some way, I turn around and somebody's bought 10 books.
yeah.
Or somebody, I mean, especially at my job, it's like, do you have one of those books? And it's just so humbling, really, to see what God does with your pain when you give it to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's easy, because you know me well, so it's not easy. Good days and bad days and not too happy days, but you know, it's been an awesome journey just because I am aligned with him most of the time.
Gotcha. What has
Yeah.
been like what has been like one of your biggest or your top challenge when it comes to the business side of being an author? And then how has, or maybe it hasn't yet, how has favor, like I call it, collided with that?
Well, because you know me well, it's the marketing part. Marketing and the actual sale of the book has been not the sale of, because God has given me favor over that, because people will buy and all, but what I need to do
Mm-hmm.
to make that happen. That has been the most difficult part for me.
Okay.
Like, for example, remaining on social media in terms of though there are many times I do enjoy sharing. Sometimes it just becomes like, is that where I'm supposed to be? And then God will draw you back. Like right now, I'm off from Instagram for a little bit. God has shared so much. It's like you continue, like do what I'm telling you to do.
Yeah. Follow direction.
Stop trying to do what Desiree wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say did that make sense? Marketing has been
Yeah.
difficult for me. But even in that, I have found God's favor every time he supplies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That has been,
Yeah.
and I think, to even sometimes to even experience his favor, you have to be paying attention. Have to be paying attention. And then there comes this place of gratitude for it and just thankfulness. And then also seeing it as a marker of, see, I'm with you. Like, see, like me having you do this was not in vain. There was a reason behind it. There was a purpose for this. And, it's just like the little, I don't know what I call it little, but sometimes like the carrot or the support to let you know you're heading in the right direction. And I'm for you. So that has been key for me. I know with the favor of God and, and also understanding, you know what? He gives it when he wants to give it. You can't control his favor either.
Yeah. And we might think that something is good for us at that particular time, but he knows that's not right, because we're impatient and he has perfect timing. Yeah. And I know that you and I have been like kind of doing this for years now, and sometimes they're like, okay, and God is like, look where you are now. Right. It might not look like what you want it to look like. It's gonna look like what I want if you listen, and it's gonna be 100 times better. Yeah. Right, 100 times better. So yeah, he is good. Yeah. So I really would, inspire like the listeners to really like, first of all, like take a look at your life and see how the favor of God has showed up. And even when the favor of God has showed up. And then what has that meant to you? Because I just know the favor of God often pushes you forward in ways that you don't even know. Whether it's in front of people, like you said, with the sales, next thing I know, someone just bought 10 books. And I wasn't doing a salesy thing at that time. And how God even did with your logo. It's like, okay. And then every time I'd like to give up, and when I say give up, is I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to do what God is asking me to do, but in the flesh, I'm tired or whatever. God sends me another person who, like I said, will text me or reach out to me or on Facebook and say, because I picked up your book today, I was able to get out of bed. I was diagnosed. I just got a call like 3 days ago from a friend from high school who got diagnosed with cancer, something that is not curable. And she said, it's your book that's bringing me through. I'm like, oh my God, I am so humbled. Yeah. Like those things right there is like, that is the vivid favor of God for me. It's like every time Desiree wants to back up, God is like, oh no, and so we're moving forward. Yeah. And it's so powerful. Yeah. Right. It's just so powerful what that does to you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So as I close, I wanted to make sure I let people know how you serve in the marketplace as an author and the different things you do, and then also how people can connect with you if they want to. Okay, so I am on Instagram and I am on Facebook, and I am as Making Joy Contagious. That is my tag. Is that how you say it? That's good enough. That's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. So I am in those two. I also will be, and I'm going to announce it that way. Okay. I am going to be doing some joyous conversations on Zoom. So I'm going to be posting that on my Instagram and Facebook page. And that's where I am. I'll be back after the 25th. The 25th was the date. I will be back online, and I will be sharing once again my prayers and a little bit about my health. I know we didn't talk about that here, but if you pick up my book, you'll know a little bit more about my health journey and continuous health journey. So, yeah, That's where I am, Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Desiree, for sharing
Oh,
your
thank
story,
you.
your insights, and I'm looking forward to everybody joining us for our next Momentum conversation. See y'all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.